Thank you. I'm very happy to be here today and to tell a little bit about the technology behind the TV and streaming. And you will notice that it is basically the same thing nowadays. Given the headline that this should be focused mostly towards technology, you will of course get an introduction to those areas, but I will also tell a bit about the process of how a streaming project becomes reality. But if we take one step backward and think a little bit about what it means to produce orienteering, we can see that orienteering is, at least said, a technical challenge. If you compare to it some other sports, maybe tennis or football, then you will have a quite concentrated field of play. And even though that you can make a production with very high production value, it is fairly said possible to do also the production with much less resources. Only one single camera could cover one full game if you need to. In orienteering, that is practically impossible, because then you won't understand anything of what's happening. And I guess many of you have seen simple live streaming only from a Finnish camera. That could be useful in some cases, but honestly it doesn't cover the orienteering. So you need solutions to cover very large distances, mount it every time new again on a new arena, and it is from time to time quite difficult to rely on external infrastructure such as the mobile network, since the arenas we usually have can also be quite far away from where it's a good coverage of mobile network, since it's lower prioritized in rural areas. As I mentioned, the storytelling is very much dependent on our technical systems. If GPS tracking fails, or if split times on radio control fails, then it's very difficult to cover the orienteering events. Also, you can include running cameras and drones, etc. to that one. And the outdoor factor, of course, plays in here as well, since we have to be ready for all kinds of weather. So with that in mind, we just briefly go through some terminology here, which is used in the TV business. So this is business lingo for television. LOC is the local organizing committee, and it's the organizer, the organizing club, usually in orienteering or national federation. HB means host broadcaster, and that is the production company which is responsible for the live production of a single event. On every big international event, there is a host broadcaster which produces the race feed, which the rights holders, the other broadcasters, take and add their own commentary and other interviews and so on. Graphics, just abbreviated GFX, that means on-screen timing graphics usually. And the streaming protocol SRT, I will have a slide about as well. So, what you came for, technology, and a little bit background about that. We usually talk about, this is very simplified, remote or on-site technology. And remote means that you produce on a different location, probably in your own production facility or using cloud services, working from home offices and so. while on-site means that the traditional way of doing TV, you take an OB van to the site and put everything out, roll out the cables and connect them, and so produce everything and then send the broadcast-ready feed from your OB van. There are pros and cons with both of them. You see some of them here, and with generally with on-site production, it's easier to have your feet on the ground there and be able to look on all the camera angles and so for the director. You're less reliant on external infrastructure, like that the internet should work and things like that. But it comes with higher costs for shipping. You need more travel days for the crew. It's a higher carbon footprint since you have to transport the vehicles and so. And with the remote, then you can save travel and costs. And the main thing we have seen in the latest years is that there is an increased chance of hiring the people you want for your projects, since it's more likely that just take one day for the orienteering production will work in their tight schedule than they have to travel 4 days to be on site. The scalability is a factor here that, for example, IOF is able to do commentary in more languages with quite short notice. So with some week of notice, we are able to just set up both English and French and German commentary, and all the commentators can sit at home, doesn't require any travel to have it done. You might want them to have on site on some events for other purposes, but just the technical point of view doesn't have to. But it comes with some downsides as well. You have to plan carefully, and data operations here becomes critical, of course, and also requires a bit more from the planner in terms of that internet, for example, needs to work very good at the arena, so IT design is needed there. And we have also seen that there is a need for backup solutions, since even the cloud providers such as Amazon might not always be extremely reliable, but mostly it's quite reliable. SRT I will go quickly through, which is a transport protocol for video over the internet or over less reliant networks that have allowed the TV industry to take big leaps with remote production over the latest years. And the reason for that is that it's, I'm not sure if it's open source, but it's freely available, at least for anyone to just use. So you can start with just a laptop and a video camera connected, and then you're able to stream the same type of video stream that all the TV networks use. And when using SRT to send the video feed, to distribute it to the TV stations, we can do it with like less than 1/10 of a cost that satellite distribution costs. So it's very good for smaller actors in TV production to be able to save some costs and to scale up when needed. If it's tip from my side to have a look on the SRT protocol and how to use it if you want to get started with streaming. It's not meant for the viewer, for the end customer. It's meant for transporting video from point to point. A little bit about the running cameras we use. Nowadays we use commercial available systems like TVU or LiveView, and it's basically the same that is used for news operations. Like you see, the running camera at the World Cup is actually the same type of equipment that the news reporters uses in the mix zone as well. Like 12 or 10 years ago, then these solutions weren't as available, so we had some really talented people which actually made it work already back in like 2013 for the World Cup. But at that time you couldn't buy these backpacks on the commercial market. But now it's usually business standard 4G or 5G backpacks that we use. I was into this a bit. The remote production is used already today for the IOF. We usually use it for commentary, even though if the commentators are on site, we can actually use the same cloud setup with the mixing, vMix, which is a software-based mixer running on Amazon Cloud, controlled by Google Remote Desktop, which makes it possible for us to go to a quite remote area, to be honest, and just need internet on site. So with that, we can make the live interviews and we can add the commentators. In some other usage areas, we also use it for very quick editing and clip delivery to different TV stations. And the IOF TV streaming is most of the time relying on cloud production like this, because it takes away or it reduces the risk of cut off if the arena is cut off from power or internet. But in the bigger productions, it's very rarely either on-site or remote, but a hybrid, a mix of these. And that makes it possible to, for instance, have the GPS tracking done in Finland and graphics done in Czechia and the commentators sitting back home, and just to make people's schedules and work so that we are able to get the best talents into the World Cup production, and then it's mixed together at the on-site venue and then sent out to the world. And with that, I will say thank you for this opportunity, and hope you got some new inspiration and information out of it. Thank you.